Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, and I'm joined by one person today. It's the one, it's the only, the incomparable, Josh Burns.
What up?
Brian could not be with us. He is actually social distancing from his microphone because it was called a Yeti, and it's gotten sick, so he's staying away from it for a little bit. No, Brian's in fine and good health. He's just doing some life stuff and can't make it this week. And because it's just the two of us, Josh, I don't want to take a whole lot of topics because I definitely want to save Brian's opinion for some of these. But there's two on here, and one of them is huge news. We're going to just jump right into it, which is we need to talk about what HBO Max just unveiled, what Warner Brothers is going to do right now, which is going to change the face of the movie industry for the entire year of 2021.
It's courageous.
Yes, this is the equivalent of Apple removing the headphone jack.
It is courageous.
One word. I'm going to drop it. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Phil Schiller.
Three of them, but it really comes down to one word: courage.
Oh, courage.
Courage. That was Phil Schiller. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowardly Lion.
What makes the flag on the mast to wave?
Courage.
What makes the elephant charge his tusk in the misty mist or the dusky dusk? What makes the muskrat guard his musk?
Courage.
That's exactly how that goes, right? What puts a man amongst his mud? Courage.
I don't know the lines.
Doesn't matter, but you knew what I was talking about, and that's what belongs there.
Yeah.
All right, so Warner Brothers is going to debut its entire 2021 film slate on HBO Max and theaters at the same time. Their little loophole is, well, listen, it's only going to go on HBO Max for 30 days, and then it goes to the theaters exclusively. So we're good, guys. We're good. Pat ourselves on the back. We've done our jobs. Good job. The movie industry is saved, right? We're good. Hold on. Jimmy just texted me. Again, Jimmy's not allowed in the studio because of everything.
Yeah.
But sent me a text, said, not saved. As a matter of fact, this fucks
Dead.
the movie theaters.
Dead.
This kills
Yes.
them.
DED, dead.
Oh, my God. So just to really put this in perspective, this kind of started, right? This started with HBO Max doing this with Wonder Woman. They were there saying, hey, it's going to come out on Christmas. It's going to be on HBO Max. You don't have to pay extra. It's just part of HBO Max. But it's also going to be in theaters. So if you're a crazy person who's going to a movie theater that is somehow open, you can go see it. But the rest of the world just said, oh, cool, HBO Max. I don't have to go to the movie theater to see this.
Here's
Go ahead. I'll let you,
though.
please.
Because the way I'm looking at it is Warner Brothers has to be thinking, man, nobody's going to go to the movies anyway. Also, we didn't get the kind of subscribers that we thought we were going to get.
Right.
Converting to HBO Max. So let's just do this and we'll meet in the middle. But because here's the thing. Even if people sign up, the same people that would have gone to the movie theater, right? Sign up for 1 month at $15. It's the same price they'd pay for their ticket.
Yep.
Okay. Now, out of all those people that sign up, I mean, you got to think there's not even going to be, I'd put attrition no higher than 30%. I don't think they lose more than 30% because not like, even if you didn't want to see Wonder Woman, you were going to wait until March to see the Many Saints of Newark, right?
Right.
Probably you're not going to cancel that after the first month. It's just not very likely. And more likely than not, they get a large number of new subscribers that stay for the full year.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule that was announced when these things were supposed to go to theaters. So this may change, but there is basically a movie every single month. The only gap is between January and March. There's nothing in April, nothing in February at all. Just January, but January 29th, then right to March. But there is a movie April, May, June, July, August, October, so nothing in September, November, and then December. And then there are about 4 movies that are still kind of in limbo, so you could slate them into those months where there isn't a movie coming out. But this is going to drive. So listen, if I'm HBO Max, so if I'm Warner Brothers, I am driving a ton of subscribers to HBO Max. But I mean, this is just. I'll be frank. I think this is a death blow to movie theaters because Warner Brothers came out and said this is going to be this is a one-time thing. We're only doing this for 1 year for 2021. This is the only time we're doing it, guys. Wink. This is the only time that we're going to nudge. This is a one-time deal. You know, I know, AMC, Cinemark, everybody knows that this is 1 year if it's not super successful. If it's super successful, this becomes the way to do it. Like, this is it. Just from the dollars and cents here, not having to get the theaters to get a cut. And even if they do a cut, right? So with Wonder Woman, they talked about this split being, and this aren't the right percentages, but the concept of it being a 60-40 split in the favors of the theaters, right? They were going to give more money to the theaters than they normally would because they're taking on HBO Max, right? They're saying, hey, if anyone comes to the theater to watch Wonder Woman, normally we would give you the 40%. We flipped it. Now you have the 60, right? So now you get more for having people come to the theaters. But Josh, I am a huge lover of the movie theater. I mean, you are too.
Yes, no. I'm not nearly as much as you are.
No, maybe not you so much, but Brian is as well. So Brian and I, huge fans of the movie theater experience, advocates for it. I think it's the best way to watch a movie. There is no chance in hell right now you could pay me to go see a movie.
No, and you know, as much as I do love the movie theater experience, I love it best when I'm the only one in the theater.
Right, yes. Well, I mean, right now that could be you.
What I'm saying is, like, I love the experience as long as no one else is there. So, like, it's not quite the same experience that you're talking about.
True.
But I'm fine with this. Everything coming on to HBO the same day it would be in the theater. Yes, this is what we've been asking for. Well, at least what I've been asking for.
Yeah.
For quite some time.
The way they're phrasing this is this is a unique 1 year plan. We support our partners in exhibition with a steady pipeline of world-class films while also giving moviegoers who may not have access to theaters or quite aren't ready to go back to movies chance to see our amazing 2021 films. Well, yes. Right? Like, yeah. But then she says, we see this as a win-win for film lovers and exhibitors, and we are extremely grateful to our filmmaking partners for working with us on this innovative response to these circumstances. On face value, Josh, that sounds like, hey, not only are we doing this for us, we're doing it for you, viewer. We're doing it for you, AMC, Cinemark, and Regal, right? We're doing that for you. Fun fact, the major movie chains had no idea this was happening beforehand. They weren't clued into this.
Why should they be?
Well, if they're going to come out and say this is a win-win, wouldn't you want to give the other party a heads up? Not a say, just a heads up.
Why?
Well,
okay, all right.
Yeah.
If you and I live next door to each other and we are neighbors,
yes,
and we are both thinking about selling our homes,
yes,
would I tell you the things that I'm doing to make my house more attractive on the market than yours? Would I tell you all that in advance of listing my home? Would I tell you the date and time that I'm planning to list my home for sale? Or would I just do it because it's mine? I own it. It's my property.
Yeah.
Right? And I need to maximize the value of my property.
Right. I'm with you on this one. Now you come over to my house, right? Knowing that we're both on the market, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that you've made enhancements to make your house more attractive to others. And then you grab me on the shoulder and say, hey, buddy, we're in this together. You and I, we're gonna work together on this, and we're both gonna come out on top. Wouldn't that be how do you phrase this? A lie? Wouldn't that be a little bit deceitful? Wouldn't that be hiding a little bit of your motive?
Again, I think in terms of business, no,
in business, this is all love. I'm talking PR, right? I'm at this point. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's just the smile you wear when you tell everybody to eat shit. Like that's not. No, I don't.
I get your bigger point.
I don't think a studio owes it to anyone to tell anybody what they're doing with their stuff. Like, why would they?
Yeah.
No, of course not. We're wishing you the best, though.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers.
Right.
Right.
Like, I mean, the other studios could the other studios release their stuff on their streaming platforms? Sure.
If that happens, right? So when
could
that
Disney?
happens, yeah. Oh God. If that
Could
happens, they could. I mean, they could. But if
Could
that happens,
Paramount?
if that happens, they 100. This is the thing. This is the domino that I think that's fallen, right? And there's already been 2 dominoes that have already fallen before, right? I think the first one was the Trolls movie. I think the second one was Wonder Woman. I don't think Mulan was as big of a domino as everyone thought it was going to be. Those 2 dominoes, though, have already knocked down a rest. And if Universal, if Sony, if Disney, if they do this, right? If they go, hey, HBO and Warner Brothers, that wasn't a bad move. We'll be doing the same thing. Stay tuned to our streaming services. Then just bar up your AMCs, bar up your independent film theaters. They're gone.
That's the way it's going anyway, right? I mean, look, there's no way these theaters can survive through 2021 anyway.
I don't know. I want to think there's hope, but you're right. I mean, they are beyond life support at this point, right?
Right.
Everyone's got their hands on the plug going, just when do we pull?
I'm just
Right.
going from like when, some, my companies that I've spoken to people, spoken to colleagues and friends, and you've got companies that are going return to office mid-year next year, are not going back into the office at all.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Full remote. Like, things are changing and people are planning for the future. And unfortunately, movie theaters probably not part of that plan, at least not in the immediate future.
And what I'll point to though is the movie Tenet, right? Which ironically enough is a Warner Brothers movie. I wanted to see that movie in theaters. I think that deserves an IMAX screen. Right?
IMAX, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I want to go see the newest Avenger, when Black Widow becomes available for us to watch, if the option is couch at my house or big screen with bucket of popcorn, right, and chair, that may be uncomfortable, but chair nonetheless, I would like to go see it on the bigger screen. Now, Tom and Jerry's coming out, right? Again, one of the Warner Brothers properties. Does that mean grab kids, put them in car, put them in a seat, get a bunch of fuck no, that is at my house, right?
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong, another movie coming out from Warner Brothers. Sounds like something I would want to see on a bigger screen.
Of these
Mortal
movies,
Kombat, Space Jam.
the only stuff I'd want to see on the big screen, The Matrix, Dune, Wonder Woman, obviously that's not going to happen. Suicide Squad, like I would say The Many Saints of Newark is something I'd want to watch at home. I wouldn't necessarily need to go to the theater for that.
Right. Yeah, it makes
It's
sense.
only these movies that are supposed to be like visually stunning that I really want to go to the theater to watch. But again, I would rather, since I'm already paying for HBO, and now this is just a bonus, I'd rather just watch it at home.
So there are 17 movies on the slate, including stuff that we've already mentioned. The Matrix 4, the remake of Dune, Lin-Manuel Miranda's new movie In the Heights, adapted from his play, Many Saints of Newark, which is the Sopranos prequel, for those of you who haven't paid attention, The Suicide Squad, the James Gunn reboot of that. I said Tom and Jerry, Mortal Kombat, Space
Reboot,
Jam.
not a sequel?
You're right.
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad, I believe, is a sequel, reboot, prequel. I don't know how they're doing it. They're retconning some stuff, I think, if I read that correctly.
Okay.
Space Jam: A New Legacy, right, and a couple other things that are on there too. It's not a small slate. It's a lot of movies. I don't know. It just I get. Listen, from a business perspective, dollars and cents. If I was an investor, blah blah blah. Yes, this makes perfect sense. Pandemic. People aren't going to go to movies. I am not willing to go to a movie, regardless of for 2021. I don't think I would go see one. I like the fact I can see these movies at home, but when we have a pint and this all blows over, I want to be able to go back to the movie theater, and I think that's going to be way harder. I'm not saying they're going to be gone. I'm just thinking things are going to get way consolidated, and when I want to go see a tentpole movie, when I want to go see the Avengers, when I want to go see, Space Jam or something like that, I don't know what my option's going to be. And I don't like that. I don't like change. I don't like the way that makes me feel. I would rather want to see these things in movie theater and then maybe give me the next week. All right, next week it's available. The other part too, and let's be super frank, the amount of piracy that's going to come from this is going to go through the roof, that even if you want to go to a movie theater and you can't, you don't want to pay HBO Max, these things are going to be up on the internet
Like anybody with a Fire Stick.
like the
type
day,
of-
right? Exactly, like the day of the release.
Yeah.
So the other part too is HBO Max has canceled its free trial service
Good.
for this year too. So you can't free trial your way into Wonder Woman. You can't free trial your way into
And
the
you
main
shouldn't.
Censor
And you
Network.
shouldn't be able to. Like you should have to pay to watch the stuff. It's HBO. You should have to pay to watch stuff.
Right. Well, but it's not HBO. It's HBO Max.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry, I wouldn't say is HBO. You're going to say Tom and Jerry is HBO?
This is HBO.
This is HBO Max. This is Warner Brothers. This is Warner Brothers with an
I
HBO
don't
name
care.
on it.
That's fine. HBO.
This is as much HBO as a Orange LaCroix is orange.
HBO.
Right. That's exactly it.
Tom and Jerry is this much HBO.
Exactly. Right. I think The Conjuring, the devil made me do it is the least of all of it. Right. So I don't know. This is one of those things I'm excited as a person, as a human being who's stuck in my house, especially next year too. I'm going to be working remotely. I'm not going to a movie theater. I've got all this stuff going on in my life that I'm trying to keep people away from me. So I'm excited as a person to see some movies in my home. I think it's wrong to try to say this is just a 1-year plan. No, man, this is going to be the future of things. And I just kind of wonder what it's going to look like to go see a movie after this. Let's say everyone else follows suits and this becomes the normal pattern. Fine. Okay. The market's going to evolve. We're going to have to change our viewing habits, but how do I go see a movie? Like, how far do I have to drive? Like, is now seeing a movie the equivalency of driving to go see a play? Like, I have to figure out where I want to go and get there. What's that going to look like? It's going to happen. And if I want to go see the newest Marvel film, I don't want to do it from my couch on my TV. I want
I
something
want
better.
you to think about all the money that you would spend on these movies, right? I want you to add it all up, right? All the tickets, every movie that you would possibly want to go see in the theater, the snacks. I even want you to calculate the gas, parking, maybe all of those things.
Sure.
And then I want you to upgrade your home theater.
But here's the thing. This was literally the reason I had A-List, which was an A-List subscription equals the cost of that of an HBO Max, right? Then I get to
Okay, but like in a world where that doesn't exist,
in a world.
right?
Sure. If hold on, but if AMC subs didn't exist, I wouldn't be seeing as many movies to begin with. But the other part though is it wasn't just the trip to it. It wasn't just it was the no kids. It was the quiet time with me and my wife. It was the dinner beforehand. It was the whole accoutrement that came with it. That
Add up all the money, learn how to cook, and upgrade your home theater.
But for me, again, this is one of those things where it's not about the money. This was about the experience. This was about the experience. This was about everything else that came with it. It was about being in the room together with a bunch of people when Cap, gets his shield taken away from Spider-Man and everyone freaking out. This was about those big moments where that stuff happens and reacting. That's not your thing, though. That's the thing. That didn't mean
weeping for you.
that didn't mean. But you know what that means, Josh? That means you and me watching the Meg together, going, Jason Statham's not going to kick that shark. He's not going to kick that shark.
But and while
He
that
almost
was
kicked that shark,
fun,
but he did not kick that shark. He did not kick that
punched the
shark.
shark in the face.
And he didn't punch the shark. He threw a spear in its eye. Spoiler for the
Just-
Meg, by the way.
I just like I get it. I really do. I just think that there are better things to spend money on which you can spend your money. Is what I'm saying.
Are you a person who likes theme parks?
Fucking hate theme
See,
parks. Are you kidding me?
no matter what we were going to do, you and I were never going to be on the same page then, right? Going to a
Just
theme park is so much fun.
Yeah, just sweaty, smelly people walking around. That's what I want to do. But like, put me in line with a bunch of peasants. And
Oh,
let
no,
me stand there.
See, Josh, this is when I, even cheap ass CJ Millen, say, no, you get that line skipper supreme, fuck you.
I hear
fast
you,
thing.
but then you're just in line with slightly more wealthy peasants.
That's okay.
who all bought the fast pass.
I'm fine with
Like,
that.
I don't, and then I got to cram into every ride, and the food is subpar, and Disney Springs is stupid.
Disney Springs is huge now.
It's all awful.
It's gigantic.
It is.
First,
I know,
hold on.
I was-
Blaze
I-
Pizza is pretty darn good.
I was there right after it opened. Couple years. They were still adding features. The smokehouse wasn't open yet. Blah 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 blah. It's
Right.
just not. It's all It's just dripping commercialism.
All right.
And it's awful.
So
there's nothing authentic about it.
So the movie Tenet, right? We had the pleasure of watching it in our homes.
Yes.
Did you as an experience, just to gauge your experience factor, did you have as good an experience watching it in your home as you think you would have had watching it in IMAX?
Well, no, man, because I don't have a 200-foot screen and amazing sound. It doesn't mean that I didn't love it. I mean, I had it cranked. I was lights off watching it. I was thrilled. I have no issues with the experience that I had at my home watching it. It is not in the cards for me to have an IMAX screen and audio. So I don't like, it's not something I lament. It's just not, I don't even think about it. I just go, you know what I have? I have a pretty decent
and that's
home
my
theater system.
And that's my bigger point, which is I don't need that for Mortal Kombat. I don't need that for the little things, right? This is Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, Robbie Malik movie.
I think we need to examine want versus need in this specific topic.
I don't want nor need the movie theater experience for 9 out of 10 of these movies. I want it for In the Heights, right?
Wow, that would be lovely.
I want it for In the Heights. I want it for, as dumb as it sounds, I want it for Space Jam, right? I want the movie theater experience for Space Jam. Should it be a couch experience? Yes, it should. Am I a little sad at talking about a movie theater? Yeah, but that's a twisted version of me. The Suicide Squad. I want to see the Suicide Squad on a big screen. But if my alternative is nothing, right, or watching it at home, of course watching at home takes out. But just let's just say this was all for 2022. I would want these things to be in the movie theater. And if this kills the movie theater, that just makes me sad. Not saying it's a bad thing. It's time we change. There's always a big shift in some way that we consume entertainment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at our cell phones. We start watching shows and stuff like that. I mean, Quibi, God rest its soul. TikTok and Instagram and had to change the way we just watch things in general, right? So, I mean, this is just part of it, and I'm getting old, and now I'm watching something that I liked just go away, and I'm an old man yelling at cloud, going, "Damn it, come back, movie theater!" But it's just one of those things where I wish this wasn't the end, and I know this is the end. I don't want it to be. I don't like change, Josh. I don't like it.
I hear you.
All right. I know very, very, very certainly that Brian is either yelling at the car or screaming at the car.
He's screaming. Yeah.
I don't know who he's yelling or screaming at, but he's yelling at both of us. Me?
You.
He's not yelling at you?
No, it's you for not letting it go more quickly.
I don't think that's him at all. So I know we'll have some follow up with this the next time that we meet, and Brian will share his 2 cents. But it's big enough that it would just be a sin for it to go completely unmentioned in any way, shape, or form. So I will definitely continue to talk about this, and I definitely want to hear Brian's take on this, even if it's just the two of us fanboying out about it. Josh, the next thing I have is just a little kind of like public service announcement / again, disappointing news, but welcome to the world, and I'm just used to disappointment by now. Google Photos, an app I think you and I both use pretty extensively.
Yeah.
Big draw about it was having a lifetime worth of photos available whenever you need to, because they were offering from day one until now unlimited storage on Google Photos. And I have quite a collection of Google Photo storage going right now. They're going to announce that on June 1st, 2021, the unlimited plan stops, and then you'll be capped at a free 15 gig plan. Anything that you had beforehand does not count towards those 15. It's a new cycle. But then after you hit your 15, very much like iCloud storage and Dropbox, it now becomes a paid service. Again, just kind of disappointing because they really set this up that, hey, this will be free forever. If a company could do free forever storage, I really thought Google would be it. But I'll be honest, the pricing is actually fairly competitive and fairly, I would say, reasonable for what you're asking Google to do. What are your thoughts?
Well, how much storage are you currently using, and how do you? Where's the setting on that? All right, there it is at the bottom of the left panel on Photos. I'm using 10.5 gigs of 15 and I'm not using high quality. I'm using original, whatever where
they do a little bit of compression.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, $2 a month for 100 gigs.
Yeah. So 100 gigs is $2 a month. 200 gigs is $3 a month. 2 terabytes is $10 a month. And then 30 terabytes is $149 a month, which, by the way, that's Google One pricing. So that also includes sheets, docs, slides, drawings, forms, and Jamboards, I think. All the fun Google stuff.
I think it's worth, what was the price for the second tier up?
200 gigabytes is $3 a month.
Yeah, that's worth $3 a month.
Yeah, it's just one of those. Hey, for me, it was one of the things of hey, free for life, and Google's like, oh shit, I didn't realize this.
The other thing, CJ, is like I don't know comparatively. I don't know what you get with iCloud storage.
All right, so iCloud is 99 cents for 50 gigs, $2.99 for 200. $10 for 2 terabytes.
So same price. $3 for 200, which is what I'm paying for now.
Right.
I mean, you and I both have very different user experiences when it comes to photos, right? I use Apple much more than Google. So like the stuff that the albums that it kicks up, the animations, the interaction that I have with the Photos app is pretty great. And you seem to have the same type of interaction with Google Photos, and I think it's just you use it more. So if there are people listening that are thinking, I'd hate to give up Google Photos, your Apple Photos experience will get there the more you interact with it. You have to. It's an input-output system.
I finally got the one of the things I love about Google Photos is the faces functionality, right? And then it lets you name them. So if I say pictures of dad, my dad shows up, right?
Right.
I find when you and I first initially kind of talked about this topic when it was first announced, I did not have the Photos faces, and now I do. So I can actually see the faces of the people that I'm looking for, but I just don't think there's a search function. So if I want to type in my daughter's name, it's not there. And like my dad isn't on this list. So if I type that in, I don't see him at all. So like, what do I have to do to get that?
You have to identify him in Photos, and it's going to put the face up there.
Like that would just
like I said, it's an input-output thing, and then it'll start recognizing the face automatically.
The thing that I'll say though is I do love this product. I love Google Photos. I really do think for 100 gigs, I don't think anybody is going to get close to that. If given the option for Google Photos or Apple Photos, you're an Apple Photos guy, right?
Yes, but not because snobbery. Just because it was like, I'm saying I've been taking parent level photos and videos since 2007. Okay. So I get you may have over-indexed a bit in the last few years than I have.
Sure.
But like, I don't think it's a ton.
I think that's a great, I'm sorry. I think that's a great way of saying how many photos you've taken. Parent level. Yeah, that's correct. Parent level. Yes.
Right. I've been doing it since 2007. Photos and videos.
Yes.
Got a ton of them. Google Photos seemed like an extra step where I was already going to iCloud. I was already Apple centric when the whole
you were already there, so it was just easy to just drag and go.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Right. Where I was like, oh, cool. I don't like the fact that that was when Apple gave you 5 gigs of storage. And I was like, well, I'm going to fill that shit up. Lickety split. Here, Google Photos was the only Google thing I ever used to just take my data, please. Just here, take my stuff. I don't want to hold on to it. I don't want to store it. I don't. Again, I think this is sad that it's gone. However, their pricing is reasonable. There's other use cases for that storage, just like Apple does. I think Apple's prices could be better, but fine for photo storage. This is a good price for it. So if you're using Google Photos and you were leaning on the unlimited, check how much data that you had in Google Photos. If it exceeds 15, you're at your cap. Go pay for it. If you don't want to use Google Photos and like, hey, I'd rather just have the thing that's on my phone do the thing, Apple has a pretty good setup going on right now for us iOS users for, again, about $1 or $2 to really kind of get some good value and some good amount of storage in there.
Yeah, Photos, I want to say started with Yosemite, which was like 2014.
Yeah, they're redesigned Photos apps. Yes,
redesigned, right? But I think the what was it called? The not sidecar. Jesus, handoff started with Mountain Lion, and that's when I really started syncing everything.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that
Google
if I'm at 8 years, I've been on Google using Apple Photos system.
Yeah, Google Photos started in May 2015. That was prime cell phone lifestyle for the two of us here. And, you know, at that point, it was 16 megapixels, 1080p resolution. I was like, here, just take my stuff. And it was free and unlimited since all of that and finally descending. So it's one of those things of, hey, I get it. I had a lot of years of saving money, right? About like 6 years of not paying anybody for my photo storage, and like my kids' photos, like every photo, them being born to where they are now, has been on a free storage platform, and I've reaped the benefits of this. Just like when I had Movie Pass. Yep, let me just take you to death, right? And I've Movie Passed Google Photos apparently to death, but it's out there. There's other plans that are coming out. I just say, hey, do that. The other thing I would advise you, just as a nerd, hey nerd, three ways of backing up. One on the cloud, some physical thing that you can have, and then a separate physical backup that's not where you are. So God forbid there's a fire or something, you don't lose all your photos. And God forbid the service that you used for the cloud goes out of business one day or decides that you're not going to get unlimited anymore. You have all the photos of your kids. So
Agreed.
back up your stuff in threes. Hey, listener, as I said, thanks so much. Just a bite-sized, teeny tiny bite-sized episode today. Just two topics that we kind of want to bring up. Definitely want to say Brian's reaction for a lot of this. I know he's snoozing right now with Google Photos. So Brian, wake up. You're up. All right, he's up. Well, listener, thank you for making us whatever it is that we are in your life. A walk around the neighborhood, a walk to the store. Maybe we're in the store right now. You're grocery shopping. You're listening to us. Thanks a lot. Because we've been sparsely doing a couple episodes. I do want to say this. Anything that was on our Patreon that we haven't already made public, I'm going to be dropping into the main feed. So you're going to get a lot of spoiler cast and retro reviews of some really great movies. So keep an eye out on your feed for that. Definitely want to take the opportunity to listen to that. And thank you so much for listening to us, and we will talk to you the next time.
Well, welcome to the club, because you are that kind of nerd.